Hello, I'm Caillou, and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Irkutsk. Today we're going to be watching the round 1 match between Gateways, who's playing blue-red wizard aggro, and that damn Pipsqueak, who's playing 5-color control. Uh, Wizards is a deck that has been played before, but mostly as a tempo deck. There's been lots of tribal support for it, but I think it hasn't really taken off until Gateway started piloting it, and then took it to a double back-to-back 5-0 finishes in League. So it's not surprising that Gateways is bringing it to this GP. Also, wow, crazy double crossing the fog turn 2, and then tries to swing with the Stormshaper Adept for 3, but unfortunately Pip has the exit for it. So now we'll not be able to grab any of these juicy cards that were just crossing the fogged. But yeah, as I was saying, it's usually played as a tempo deck, but Gateways does not have any stack interaction in their main board. So it's entirely just burn plus aggressive creatures plus card advantage. On the other side of the table, we have Pip with the Golden Glade. This is one of the key cards which allows easy 5-color mana, the other one being Northern Holdout. But because it enters tapped, Gateways will get to resolve this Arcane Metalcrafter. But unfortunately, yeah, before it can make more tokens for itself, it's going to get immediately exited. And now Pip is in a really strong position. Gateways is out of cards. Top deck Martial Maestro is fine, but it isn't good enough to get Gateways back in this game. Especially because now Pip has an anti-magic, is not going to use it there, interestingly enough. Oh, I guess because on end, Pip is just going to run out the Crystal Wave to kill that, and is now in a really comfortable position. Anti-magic is also one of the really good parts of the 5-color control deck because it's basically better counter spell in this deck. It's just really strong. The advantage of running 5 colors is you just get the best of everything in the format. But geez, yeah, Gateways wants the Storm Chaser Mage, especially because of the haste, but Pip is just going to anti-magic that. It has a second anti-magic, plus Thunder Wave, and Worlds Away to draw some extra cards if need be. It is actually, funnily enough, not online because Pip has a double Golden Glade here, so the Wanderlust isn't active. But yeah, with another Thunderwave top deck from Pip, I'm pretty sure this game is just over. Pip beats Gateways in card advantage here, both naturally and by drawing more cards with Worlds Away, and can just comfortably wait for, can comfortably 1-for-1 Gateways until she draws into a win con. And with that top deck Snow-Covered Island, the Worlds Away is finally castable, this time for 3 mana, which means that Pip can afford to anti-magic plus Worlds Away in a single turn. So probably going to let the Stormshaper resolve, Thunderwave it. Or no, actually, no, shouldn't do that because needs to use Golden Glade. Or no, actually, yeah, can do that, but then it'll just cost a Golden Glade. It's going to swing in with the Stormshaper. At start of combat, Pip is just going to, yeah, okay, Golden Glade plus Nareba, Thunderwave the Stormshaper, and it still has enough mana to be able to Worlds Away on end. Okay, 2 lands and another counter magic, and God, the third Thunderwave, so yeah, just all of the removal. And Pip is, next turn Pip will be able to start Narebaing if Gateways doesn't do something worth interacting with, which will let Pip dig even further for a win con. But it looks like Pip is not going to need a win con here. Gateway's just going to hard concede there. And I don't blame them. Like, that game was pretty, that was pretty over by that point. In the meantime, let's quickly look at sideboarding before getting into game 2. And also, I would like to say, it is a testament to how, it's also interesting because, no one had found this 5-color mana base before. For 5 colors, people were kind of scrambling and either making strong concessions to their mana base or running the Angel Touch lands, which are 5-color friendly lands because they're untapped triple lands, but they only allow you to cast multicolored spells. But with the Snow-Covered Swamps, Northern Holdout, and the Golden Glades, it seems like 5-color mana has naturally become trivial without having to make many concessions except to maybe tempo, and can also run colorless lands like Nareba. Okay, anyways, sorry for that tangent. Let's get back to sideboarding. I think Flesh to Rot is just the nut here. Shaldron's Rage as well. The Squid Proco is cute. This is actually the first time this card is seen play, and I don't know if it's just a meme or, it's a good card, but I don't know if, this was chosen over other similar options just as a meme. Instant Speed is valuable. Children of the Clouds. This could also be valuable versus aggro. Stand Unassailable is the OG anti-aggro card, so I think Flesh to Rot, Shaldrin's Rage, Stand Unassailable, maybe Children of the Clouds is my call for Pip. Probably taking out some of the stuff like Deem Unworthy, which is an excellent flexible removal spell, but you can just get cheaper or like multiple answers in the form of wipes or Stand Unassailable. Meanwhile, for Gateways, Anarchy Storm, it was probably really good here versus Golden Glade and stuff, because without them, I think the mana base kind of falls apart. It still has really good ways to be able to fetch up multiple basics and doesn't have many double density cards, so it isn't exactly 100% soul crushing, but it definitely does give Gateways a lot of options, especially because it doesn't put Gateways off tempo because of the Abound. Tenacious Guide is good versus counter magic, but I don't think that Pip's deck is going to be like very counter magic focused. I don't know if bringing this in is a good idea, especially because it slows down the blistering clock that Gateways would usually have. And that's about it from Gateways' sideboard. Let's get back into game 2. It looks like they're already in the thick of it. So far, Gateways has apparently played a turn 1 Martial Maestro into another Crossing the Fog. Don't know what they grabbed off it, but it looks like Gateways did bring in the Tenacious Guides and the Anarchy Storms, has a whopping 4 sideboard cards in hand. That's got to feel good. Unfortunately, before Gateways can use this Anarchy Storm, Pip is going to have the Golden Glade. I don't know how that happened. I guess Gateways missed a land drop there. I don't know why Gateways didn't just... Wait, if that was the case, did Gateways grab the island off of the Abound? Or not Abound, Journey? If so, why wouldn't Gateways just grab the island and then immediately try to Anarchy Storm? I guess to have backup for the Anarchy Storm. If Gateways had top decked a land there, could Tenacious Guide plus Anarchy Storm and then Pip couldn't counter it? Meanwhile, looking at Pip's hand, has the anti-magic, which is really good, did bring in both the Children of the Clouds and Stand Unassailable, and Lucian also gains life here, so this is kind of... this is really bad for Gateways if Gateways can't immediately resolve these Anarchy Storms. Okay, Gateways going to just swing in with the Martial Maestro plus Tenacious Guide. Grabs the second Martial Maestro off the Journey. I guess is trying to bait out interaction from Pip, but Pip is pretty content right now to just wait. Doesn't want to run out this Children of the Clouds too early. And is going to play Martial Maestro number 2. I guess that is really good. Okay, actually, I lied. Pip is going to run out Children of the Clouds, gets 2 bird tokens, and gains 2 life. So these can chump and kill the Martial Maestro. Oh no, they can't because Martial Maestro has first strike. My bad. And now each Martial Maestro will be attacking for 2, while the Tenacious Guide will be attacking for 4. But Pip is going to drop down Lucian. He's notably tapped out, but yeah, now can exile the Tenacious Guide, gain up 2 life. And Pip has the blockers to be able to stop the Martial Maestros from killing it. But Gateways, actually what Gateways can do here is Anarchy Storm, Abound the Storm Chaser Mage, and then kill Lucian. That's a really strong line. So yep, Anarchy Storm, and I think you shoot, Northern Holdout. But Abound's a Tenacious Guide, why? That feels like a massive punt to me. Okay, but I guess Pip doesn't value Lucian that much. Is gonna just let him die and keep the bird tokens up. Okay, Pip is gonna discard an Imperial Port and use its ability to grab a forest, and then is gonna just cast a Stand Unassailable, gain up 7 life. Pip is running out of interaction, only has anti-magic left, and can't even cast that this turn. But if Pip gets a steady flow of lands, we'll be able to bring back the Stand Unassailable. And at that point, I think it becomes an uphill battle for Gateways. For now, though, Anarchy Storm number 2, taking out the Golden Glade. And this time is going to probably Abound the Storm Chaser Mage. Yep. And yep, here comes Storm Chaser Mage. And geez, Martial Maestros both buff the Storm Chaser Mage. So swings for a whopping... that's a 10 damage. Yikes, yeah. So double blocks the Tenacious Guide to kill it, but still takes 7 damage there. So that Stand Unassailable has been undone. Okay, and on end, Pip cycled the Weathered Slums. A Worlds Away plus a Thunder Wave. Signs of life here. Okay, so it's just going to Thunder Wave the Storm Chaser Mage before Gateway's going to untap and potentially buff it. And has anti-magic available to counter one of these Arcane Metal Crafters, because Pip can find an island with Wayfarer's Shrine. Doesn't have double blue for Worlds Away is the issue. And obviously doesn't have the mana. And oh, Pip is letting this resolve? Not going to anti-magic it? That is actually surprising to me. I feel like Arcane Metal Crafter is scary enough that I'd instant anti-magic it, but maybe Pip is hoping to... But Pip doesn't have anything right now, is my thought. So yeah, and gets... Yeah, and that just... It gives so much damage there. Because it's a total of 4 damage from both of these, and then, yeah. And wow, yeah, that game, I don't think that... I think the land destruction mattered, but it was more that just... On the play, Gateways was able to overrun Pip. And I think the Martial Maestros buffing each other was super important. Like, having an Anthem attached to your aggro 1-drop is nothing to scoff at. Okay, so going into Game 3, the double stand unassailable for Pip, I think is just hoping to, like, work off of that. Can just go Northern Holdout, turn 2, stand unassailable, turn 3, stand unassailable again. Imperial Port allows for fixing, and Consult just searches for a relevant interaction. Meanwhile... Gateways is going to run Storm Shaper Adept turn 1, has an Anarchy Storm yet again, and if Pip doesn't have interaction, that's going to be brutal, because can Anarchy Storm into basically Imagination? Probably the best thing here is Tenacious Guide. Top deck Exeunt for Pip, though, means that the Storm Shaper Adept is not going to be able to survive. Oh, but Tenacious Guide just going to straight come down turn 2, I guess. Honestly, kind of forgot that just hard casting it was an option. Okay, and then swings in for 1 with the Storm Shaper. On end, Pip is going to consult the Dewdrops. Grabbing a Lucian. Okay, another Imperial Port is super important because it means that Pip can fetch a Swamp to be able to cast Exeunt and Lucian, because at this point Pip doesn't have counter magic to stop this Northern Holdout from being blown up. So yep, does just that. Imperial Port, Snow-Covered Swamp, casts the first stand unassailable off the Northern Holdout. And Northern Holdout is so powerful because it and Golden Glade allow you to cast double density cards in a 5-color deck. So, no surprise that Gateways is just going to immediately Anarchy Storm that. Pip's tapped out, so it doesn't have anything to stop it. And then Abounds the Storm Surge, Shooting Face. That makes sense. Oh wait, no. Whoops. Never mind. I'm so used to Storm Surge being orchestrated that I forgot that it naturally costs 3, which doesn't work with Abound. Could Abound Spirit Fireling? Okay, he's going to do that. But I feel like that's kind of sad because you really want to do that when you have the Wanderlust online. It does get to swing for a sweet 5 damage here. So yep, swings for 5. Pip is almost back to her starting life total. Pip is back to her starting life total. But yeah, now Pip can't cast Stand Unassailable. Is 1 land off the Lucian. Exeunt is the only live card in Pip's hand. Pip desperately needs another blue land right here. But as soon as Pip gets a Golden Glade or something, Gateways is just going to hard Anarchy Storm it. For now, though, the Anarchy Storm is dead, so Gateways is probably just going to run an Arcane Metal Crafter. It's not super great when you have 2 non-wizards, but the Storm Shaper Adept will suffice for now. And then next turn, the Arcane Metal Crafter can build up her own Construct army. I was going to hardcast Storm Surge on face? I guess it activates the prowess for both of these boys. Pip is just going to Exeunt. Gateways will let the Spirit Fireling die. Still gets in for 4 damage, though. I feel like I think Arcane Metal Crafter should have been played there. I guess Gateways is trying to play around wipes. Meanwhile, Pip doesn't draw, or actually is waiting, or might be waiting for a 4th land to be able to Tenacious Guide plus Arcane Metal Crafter. For now, though, it's just going to Storm Shaper Adept plus Tenacious Guide swing in. Puts Pip down to 10. Pip has a Cursory Glance, but then Gateways will be able to Tenacious Guide and then follow it up with a Masahita. So yep, Masahita's coming down, and that means this top deck Cursory Glance from Pip is just dead. And that also means that Gateways is going to be getting some card advantage here. Top decked Exeunt from Pip immediately is going to run that out. But yeah, still no 4th land for the Lucian. Okay, so on upkeep, Red Bob is going to be coming into play. and he gets lucky, hits a land so it doesn't take any damage. And because Masahita says play and not cast, Magmatic Torrent is still valid. So can now Magmatic Torrent, crack it, cast Arcane Metal Crafter with Tenacious Guide backup. Also, depending on what Gateways gets with this, could have 4 lands for Wanderlust, and that means that... Actually, yeah, wait, is that lethal? Actually, yeah, that might just be lethal. No, don't cast Arcane Metal Crafter. No! No, just swing in with Masahita plus Tenacious Guide and then double Void Flare face. You win! No, Gateways, you had the win! Oh, Gateways had that win in the bag. Okay, he's gonna swing for 5. Or sorry, oh no, sorry. Aha, okay. Swings for 6 because of the Arcane Metal Crafter. But yeah, still can't kill with a single Void Flare. Okay, he's going to cycle the Weathered Slums in an attempt to get a green land for stand unassailable, but it does not work. And that's it. I think Pip had all the tools for this matchup, but just didn't draw them. That was super unfortunate. And not to downplay Gateways, I think very smart in the sideboarding of the non-basic land hate. Pip's deck doesn't fall apart to non-basic land hate, as we talked about earlier, but sometimes you can really put them off their stride, and if they don't draw well, you get a situation like what you saw right there. But yeah, good games to both players. I think both of these decks are super sick in their own ways. Gateways is sick in the sense that it's like the iteration of a long series of what people have been trying to accomplish, and the fact that it's a tribal aggro deck in a format that has traditionally been unkind to both of those things is really cool. Meanwhile, Pip's deck is an innovation in both mana base and just like kind of having your cake and eating it too with the control deck. Just the best of everything, and it actually works. And both of them have been, unlike most of the decks in this GP, tested only in League but not in previous GPs. Seeing them performing on the big stage, as it were, is really cool. So excited for both of them to play more exciting matches in future rounds. But until then, this is Caillou signing off.